Tracking out some of the folks who ran with ISMA and MSS this past weekend. They were out in Amherst, Ohio, at one of the racier short tracks around Lorain Raceway Park. It was the Super Crown Nationals. 3 races over the course of 2 days, and I've got the winner from the first race on Saturday, second of 3 on the series. That's right, it's hard to believe, but we are already cranking along here in the ISMA MSS season. Moe Lilje joins us right now, and don't do any jokes about him becoming a rapper. He's heard them all, so you don't need to do any of those. He's out in Clyde, Ohio, which is actually real close to Sandusky. How you doing today?
Not too shabby. How are you, Doug?
Doing well. Understand we got a little bit of a late start at Oswego, but sounds like things went pretty well. 7th on Friday, 1st on the first race on Saturday, 7th after that. So how was the weekend at the Super Crown Nationals?
The weekend was, I think it's safe to say it was acceptable. We got our first win in the 32 car, which I feel like has been a long time coming, but we finally got a weekend where everything fell into place for us.
All right, so how did it start out? How was the 7th place on Friday? Did we learn something there?
It wasn't bad. We were just a little off. We fought a entry push most of the day, tried some different things, and I wouldn't say really improved it or neutralized it, but maybe got a touch better, and then kind of looked a different direction Saturday, and everything worked out, and it paid off.
Okay. Were we fast right away then on Saturday after the changes that we made?
I wouldn't say that we were fast. We were better than we have been there, better than we have been speed-wise at other places, but we're still trying to play catch-up a little bit with the speed, but we're getting there.
So then how did you manage to win then if you still got work to do?
I mean, we had an excellent race car in the first race, but I think if you were to ask the other guys the same thing, getting in clean air is like the ultimate goal.
Gotcha.
So we were able to launch, get a start. We raced with Kyle pretty good there for a few laps, and once we got him cleared, we were able to just set sail and build up a nice little lead.
Get into traffic much, did we?
We had, I believe, 2 lappers that came into play later in the race. It took a little bit to get to the bumpers of the lap cars. Again, then now I'm in dirty air,
right,
and race car starts to do a little bit uglier things. So we had to race pretty hard there for a few laps to get up to them, and then once I got to them, got out to the outside and cleared them, and then that was pretty much the end of it.
Okay, so no anxious moments once we got out front, nothing like that?
No, I mean, there's nothing too anxious. I mean, all these guys are, they're on kill. They're doing the same thing we are, and nothing's going to come free, and you're going to have to race hard with everybody, and may the best man win, I guess.
There you go. Won by over 5 seconds over Kyle Edwards to get the win in that one right there. I talked to some of the guys leading up to this. They say, Lorain, everything kind of happens fast there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's a pretty compact little place. Racy for the most part. The last few years, I wouldn't really think that of a track of its size, but Arrow's pretty critical there. The cars start to do some pretty nasty things in dirty air. So it's tough. A bigger track like Oswego, they do the same thing, but the track's large enough you can do some different stuff and put the car in different places to help improve that. But at Lorain, everybody's just kind of stuck in the same air, so there's not really an escape route.
Yeah, and you're not going to be good in clean air and dirty air, so I would imagine there's a certain amount of give and take there, right?
There is, but it just is so tough to get everything perfect enough that you can step out a little bit and it still handles well in the dirty air. But, I mean, that's a struggle everybody's dealing with, so everybody's working to make their machines a little better than the next guy.
More important to get that right at a short track like Lorain, or more important to get it right at a big track like where we're going next on the 29th at Oswego?
I mean, I think it's probably safe to say it's more critical at a track like Oswego. It's very important speed-wise there. And a place like Oswego, if you miss a little bit at one end, then it magnifies so much. You're behind the 8 ball, and next thing you know, you're half second off the pace.
Yeah.
Instead of a couple tenths, and that adds up pretty quickly.
And again, remember, June 29th, so not this Saturday, but next Saturday, they will be back at Oswego race number 2, I believe, of the 5-race series as well. So what happened in between, and how did they work that out? Was the last show like its own complete deal, or how did that work?
Yeah, so they did, we qualified like a regular program, the top 12 in qualifying, then redrew
Mm-hmm.
to figure out who started the top 12 of the first feature. So we qualified 12, missed the mark on stagger pretty bad,
Okay.
and ended up 12. So everything worked out, though, because the one pill was left in the jug. So we launched from the pole, and then at the end of the first race, they rolled the dice, and whatever the dice roll was, plus 5 was the invert. So the
Okay.
invert for the second race ended up being 11.
Oh, okay. Did you roll that right there?
I did roll that.
Okay, so that's where we needed a 1, and we didn't get it at that point.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
All right, were we better or in the second race, or because I'm obviously starting
No,
further back was tough.
I mean, I probably used up a little more rubber than I needed to in the first race, but I knew that was going to be our best opportunity to get a win early on in the season, and didn't want to squander that.
No,
So,
I get that.
I mean, I raced pretty hard in early on with Kyle, and for a few laps after, and I sort of settled in to save a little bit, but not full on like if I was racing a long race.
I see. Okay.
So we used up a little rubber. We tried to make some adjustments to make the car maneuverable in traffic, and we were okay, but we just a little too free on exit.
Okay. Was that a stagger related thing, like you told me earlier? Or?
No, we killed quite a bit of stagger. I mean, we could have killed more, but essentially I think it had more to do with tire life.
Mm-hmm.
So the first 2/3 of the corner we were good, and then the last third we were struggling a little bit.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
early on, when everything was bunched up, we were pretty maneuverable and made some pretty decent moves, but in open track it wasn't quite there.
Okay. So 10th, 7th, 1st, and 7th are now his 4 finishes. That puts him 4th in the point standings. Back to Oswego we go on the 29th. And you told me you were fortunate just even to be there for that race, right?
Yes, we kind of ran out of laps in the off season a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I
The
like
boys
that.
stayed up all night grinding on the race car. I met them at the shop on Saturday of the first weekend at Oswego, and it was a little bit of a scramble.
Sounds like it.
So, but we got everything together, got it to the track. They gave us a quick hot lap session after the SBS heats, I believe it was, and had a few body panel hiccups. Got those addressed. Went out in the heat race. Had a left rear go down due to a wheel failure,
Oh, gee.
which is probably best case scenario because the wheel failure didn't cause us to pack the wall.
Yeah.
So all's well that ends well there. And then ended up starting 21st in the main and snuck up the 10th there.
Yeah, so not
So-
bad, really, considering
No,
everything.
not bad. We passed a few race cars. That's probably the best that the 32 car has been for us since I've been racing for Dan a few years now. So every reason to be optimistic for the upcoming race there and the rest of the season.
Very good. So, again, that's coming up. ISMA Supers is where you are probably looking at this unless you found us on YouTube, so make sure to go there. A lot of cool stuff. Make sure to check out the photo galleries from Lorain. Wow. Nice job there by Jim Feeney to get all those photos. It really brings this whole show to life. So I know you got to get to work, so I appreciate your time, Mo, and hopefully I'll get to see you here sometime soon.
Yep, hope so. We'll catch up and grab a bite to eat or something.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So again, guys, make sure to subscribe, turn on the notifications for those of you who are watching strictly through YouTube. For you guys on the website, we'll have other stuff from Lorain, and of course, we'll be previewing Oswego and stuff like that too. So good luck to everybody. ISMA and MSS off and running here in 2024.